Hello, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates. It's me, Stormie Grace, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of November 7th, where this week, let's just say it's energetically charged. It is absolutely energetically charged. Now, I want to say right out of the gate, with all of the energies that are coming up, first of all, many of them are signatures that we have already been seeing. It's not new information. It's a continuation of letting go, of shedding, of letting the secrets come up so that we can be done with them, so that where we're insecure, what needs to be shed from us, where we need to own our value and our own self-worth, really gets brought to the table, but it's just not new. So in that way, I actually think as we're approaching the intensity this week of this eclipse that's coming, the rest of the energies, the squares to Saturn that seem to be happening all week long, it's really a chance for us to realize that it's not about lack. It's not about things being terrible. It is about the understanding that what we're left with this week is really the work that we need to do, right? It's really what we have got to get busy dealing with the pain point of that and learning a new way to live, because what is spotlit this week is really about, hey, there's a different way for you to learn how to do this, but you have to first acknowledge that it doesn't belong here anymore. That job doesn't belong in your life anymore. That relationship doesn't belong in your life anymore. That fear that you have that's stopping you from moving doesn't belong here. You're actually a freaking awesome human being. And sometimes, we're just as much afraid of success as we are of failure. So whatever comes up and brings this extra energy to your table this week, I want to encourage you to remember that while a full moon asks us to end something, acknowledge something, or adjust something, an eclipse really intensifies that for 3 to 6 months, that it is also an opportunity for you to make an absolutely fantastic beginning, because everything is illuminated for you to really ask where you're taking responsibility in your own world and not putting it off someplace else, where you're really saying, what form or function or purpose does this still have in my life? And then I make decisions how to move forward with it. So lots going on this week. And I've also got a special video coming up that you guys will be able to watch on the channel to get us ready for 2023 as well, talking about some common mistakes that I've been seeing over the last 8 years of practice with us trying to learn our astrology practice. So I have got a video for you talking to you about some things that you may be doing that are actually hindering you from understanding, learning, and using your astrology well. So watch out for that video up on the channel and in the playlist as well. All right, friends, let's get in here and see what's going on this week. Now, first of all, we've got elections in the United States. So, not everybody, not all of our soulmate tribe lives in the United States. But man, when something happens in the United States, it seems like those fingers really spread out. And as the world is right now, there's just a lot of changing in the global stage in terms of alliances, agreements, all of these things. There's a lot of change. So us bringing in yet another election, and we're bringing it in right here on the right before we've got this lunar eclipse happening. So it is just wild this week. It is really just a little bit of a wild energy. So no matter where you are in the world, I do want you to be mindful that, first of all, what happens in the United States may affect where you are at as well. If you are in the United States, you really need to be getting ready, because what is going on with our global currency, what's going on with the state of our union, these kinds of things do play a factor into the spiritual space that we're dealing with, right? How do you realign and learn spiritually how to show up materially in the world that you're dealing with? Now, as we're coming into this week, first and foremost, let's talk about this first square that we're getting to Saturn. So Monday, we are going to see Venus in a square to Saturn, and this is the 7th. And so, okay, first of all, Venus squaring Saturn this week is a really big indicator to us that this can be really good. You guys know I really love a square. I think that you can do, because a square wants you to do something. You can do something really great with it, but it causes first my desire, or something that I want, or something that I would like to be easy, or just like, a flow, a vibe, Venus, okay, or something I find beautiful or pleasurable is squaring against a responsibility or an obligation that I have. So this is a big energy. As these two square against each other, you can feel stifled a little, like something is blocking you. Something is trying to stop you from living your best life, or stop you from getting that financial thing that you need, or something feels blocked in your relationships. So you have an opportunity here with Venus and Saturn to go, okay, hold on. Why am I in this tension? It is the wanting. It is my demand. It is my, you have to do this. It has to be this way, or I can't be okay, that is actually in the way. So I would call you on this particular day, on Monday, to look at what's your belief system, or what's your attitude around what's going on here. Because taken from a different perspective, this can be a fantastic opportunity to take something that you want and you desire and actually align it with that Saturnian energy and challenge your beliefs. Do you really need that particular course? Do you really need to make that investment? Is this relationship really going this way? Is it time to make that investment? Is it time for you to stop backing yourself off, pretending that you're not as awesome and as talented as you are, and like pretending that there's some reason or someone stopping you from coming out and it's really just you? So this can be a great energy this day to realize you maybe have a little bit of work to do and you can really make it useful, okay? Now, when we get here to Tuesday, it's election day. It is election day in the United States. It's election day in the United States, friends. Okay. Now, we're also going to have later in the day this full moon lunar eclipse, 16 degrees of Taurus. And man, this is dynamic. So first of all, the full moon asks us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment, right? But it's a full moon lunar eclipse, so there's all of the light in the sky that is available. So what you're looking at, first of all, again, you've been looking at this for some time. Where's the Taurus area of your chart? If you don't know how to find that, if you're a little bit newer, I want you to go beneath this video and look up how to spot the active transit in your chart. It'll show you exactly how to find the Taurus areas of your chart. And then you can look and say, okay, in my fourth house is where this is happening at. My ascendant, this is where this is happening, because you want to be clear on what have you been looking at? What have you been working on in this Taurus area that at this time it is spotlighting some place where you have to own something around your resources, whether that be you as your own resource, your self-esteem, how you make money, the money that you have or you do not have, things in your relationships. Where do you have a depth of insecurity that is maybe showing up for you at this time? But again, it's not new. So we've been looking at this for a minute. It's something that it's in your headlight that this has been around. Now, other things I still think of, because this particular moon is, first of all, we've got Mars retrograde here. Okay, Mars is retrograde in the energy of Gemini, so just next door. But with the Mars retrograde, our action, our desire, and how we're getting things done is actually slowed down at this moon, or it's put in a position so that it's like looking backwards at this eclipse. So again, you've already seen it. Now you just need to go back and take some different action on it. Okay, but also this moon is opposing both Mercury, Venus. It's squaring Saturn. It's right there, conjunct Uranus. So this moon is highly vibrational. And it is vibrational because it is about get out of your rut. Where are you still having that insecurity? Where do you have a secret going on? Where have you been doing some things and it's just not quite right? Where do you have some learning to do around that money, around those relationships, around where you have instability in your life and you need to bring that up to par, right? Uranus is going to break that rut out. Now, the opposition to both Mercury and to Venus here. This is interesting because you're like, okay, fine, Stormie, I'm going to speak up. I'm going to unburden myself of the toxins and just like unearth some things so that I can go to the next place. And you're ready to speak it out or get a new mind about it. And you're kind of bumping into other people who do not like what you are saying. They do not like the changes necessarily. Or you feel like I'm trying to bridge the gap and get from here to hear, but I'm having a communication difficulty. I'm having a delay. I feel afraid to say that I need help and bridge this gap of this opposition to get over there. Sweet spot. Find the sweet spot. Whenever you have an opposition, find the sweet spot in the middle. Where are you confident enough to say what you need to say and acknowledge what is creating a lack for you or creating a wound, and you are participating in creating it, right? So where is this? And then maybe where's the resource over here that you're trying to communicate or that you're trying to learn from, right? Where can you bridge the gap in the two of these things? Okay, if you need to learn about relationships, how to know how to get deeper and more intimate and more loving and more in the gush of a relationship, or how do you know if it's time to leave a relationship and you're not quite ready or can't afford therapy yet, right? How about YouTube? How about a video with one of our content creators who specialize, who have training in this area? Bridge that gap in the middle, and then trust the flow of what's going to come from that. Trust and believe that the universe wants you to be in the best alignment with everything that you also want for yourself. Now, I will tell you that square to Saturn can honestly make you feel like, how am I going to do this? This is so big. It's so much responsibility. What do I do? And I'm going to tell you the answer to that is start breathing in, getting prepared, and letting something be food, be nourishment to you about taking on responsibility, about taking on obligation, but the right kind, the kind that is going to help you end something, end a cycle of something, acknowledge a cycle of something, make an adjustment so you can get out of the cycle of something that is not productive to your stability and to your resources, whatever that may be. But you've got to acknowledge that work. That's where Saturn can help you, and Uranus, will help that Taurus area of your chart say, yeah, I have a lot of work to do, but that work is not mine. That work over there needs to end. I've been carrying, or I've been engaging in behaviors, or I've been distracted in ways that has made it really hard for me to engage my energy here, and therefore bring something new to light. So you have help. And remember, this energy will play out for you for the next 3 to 6 months, okay? Now, later in the day, we're going to see the Sun and Mercury come together. They've got a cazimi, and when the Sun and Mercury come together, it's just absolutely brilliant, because it's like ideas get this new brilliance to them. You see them, you're aware of them, there's a motivation behind them that comes in a different way, and you're also like, I see how I can be successful here. I am motivated by what I have seen. So it kind of, takes the willingness to succeed and sprinkles a little like, absolutely, let's do it on top of that. Now, of course, make sure you're checking out your slides, just here to the whichever side it shows up, so that you to the right, so that you can see which dates we actually had this show up before, and you can kind of see where the last cazimi got you. Under my last cazimi that I experienced, man, I launched a whole new business situation, which is now starting to be of benefit to our community. So what cazimi magic, what memories, what communication, what idea, what inspiration, what success comes up for you as we're dealing with this? Look, didn't I tell you that's just Tuesday? And Tuesday was rich, okay? And that was just Tuesday. Now we're not done. Okay, so we've also got later in the day Mercury opposing Uranus. Now, this is also interesting as well, because we've got Mercury, the smaller mind, okay? So Mercury is bringing new information, got different ideas, trying to adjust a perspective. You're speaking or you're communicating something out, and Uranus is breaking down the rut. It's saying, get out of here. Now, keep in mind, it's not Uranus coming to interact with Mercury. It's not that way. It's Mercury bringing new perspective into the vantage point of Uranus, who's been sitting here saying, we got to change. We got to change. I've been looking for 6 months to help us change. We need some more information, though, in order to innovate this. As Mercury comes around, think of it as being like, Uranus, look what I found out. I found out this thing. We can do it different, or there's a resource, or I know this, or oh my God, I have this idea. Now remember, they're in opposition. Mercury and Uranus are in opposition. So Uranus is like, I don't know, it sounds too traditional. I don't think I'm interested in it, right? And Mercury's like, what? Hold on, this is going to really help us. Here is a prime example. Mercury is bringing old information, right? But new information on something old, and is saying, hey, how about we take a business or a finance class? How about we take a relationship class? How about we study under someone, even if it's for free on YouTube, about self-esteem or about assets or about worth or about any of these things, right? These are old concepts, but understanding that you are stuck in your money, you are stuck with this idea of lack, you are stuck in something that you are insecure, you are stuck having an affair, you are stuck wherever you are stuck. There are traditional means to teach you a different way out. And Uranus is like, yeah, we need something different, but that seems a little bit too traditional. So we need to find the spot in the middle where Mercury goes, okay, yeah, listen, it is traditional, but it's like new to us. And then Uranus goes, oh, okay, hold on, I can get on board, right? So then you have a new space for new ideas, new solution, new input, even if it's taking something older and traditional and putting it together in a new practice into your own life. That is a fantastic way to use an opposition, okay? All right, let's get out of Tuesday. On Wednesday, now we're going to see the sun in an opposition with Uranus. So we just had all this bright, brilliant idea come to the table, and now the sun is rolling in and opposing Uranus as well. But where I think this can be a benefit is, first of all, let me say this is where it can be a hindrance. You're motivated, right? You've got new information and you're motivated to go. You're motivated to see something, but it is pulling. There is Uranus and Taurus is pulling you, pulling this way. And it feels like that resource, that person, that next step to take can be unattainable. So instead, what you do is give yourself space to just go all in. What did you find out? What are you interested in? What information did Mercury bring that is like, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone if we're going to make any progress here. And hearing those words, outside of your comfort zone, right? Uranus comes running and is like, wait, let's go be about out of our comfort zone. This is a way to, again, use the opposition. But I do want you to be mindful. In a Sun-Uranus opposition, you might not be comfortable. What you think you know, how you think you're going to be able to get it done, the old information you've been equipped with really is opposing all of the things outside of the comfort zone. So you might not be feeling like, oh, the solution's coming in, I'm ready to take on all of the work. Or maybe you are, but whatever it is done outside of the comfort zone, okay? Later in the day, we see the moon entering into the energy of Gemini, thank goodness, so that emotionally you can tell everybody, tell yourself, journal, write about how uncomfortable or how exciting it's been to experience what you've been experiencing this week. You know, when the moon is in Gemini, the moon wants to talk. It's like, I saw something, I did this thing, I got to tell my friends about it, right? It's a very, let's get the words out, let's get the communication out kind of energy, and it's very, very chatty. Another great thing about the moon in Gemini is that maybe you're talking to people who are having the same experience as you. And you're telling them of the solutions, of the readiness, of the willingness, of the places that you're making some solid decisions in your life that you're like, emotionally, I know that I don't feel solid around my finances. Emotionally, I know I've been being a little bit selfish and insecure in my relationship, and I'm ready to do something about that. These are powerful conversations. These are powerful, emotionally binding conversations. I absolutely love it. Okay, when we get to Thursday, we've got Mercury square Saturn here. As Mercury squares Saturn, we just really have to get honest about what's going on. And one of the things that is going on is we're coming to a reality that whatever we're going to do next is, first of all, built long-term, right? We're going to have to, in a long-term way, take responsibility for what we're doing, what we're building, the unique pieces of ourselves that we actually offer to the global whole, to humanity, right? We're having to take some responsibility for what our part in shaping what our worlds and our communities look like next. But also, I think if we really want to settle this down into like bring it into your own home, like Rick Levine says, think cosmically. So yes, it's Saturn in Aquarius, that the big picture out here is really very important, but we have to act locally. So in your own home, what long-term plans are you coming to the responsibility that you're going to take them on. And responsibility is not a negative word. It's not a bad word. Just like work is not a bad word, right? We have to get different perceptions and connections to these things so that as we take them on, we go, okay, yeah, it turns out I am going to go into learning about high yield savings accounts. I'm going to be learning how to be financially free. I'm going to be learning how to, I'm going to be getting a mentor. I'm going to be learning about my healing. I'm going to be learning about my astrology. Whatever it happens to look like, we make a decision and we come to a place today where it's like, I'm serious, shoulders back a little bit. Now, depending on where you are in your lesson structure, Mercury square Saturn might feel really painful. It may feel really painful because Saturn is showing up and poking holes in whatever BS excuse you're using to not do what you need to do. And I really like this. I'm so sorry, you guys. I can't remember where I heard it, but it was just this last week as I was moving around. And the guy said, there's a lot of grace and we have to give ourselves a lot of space for the learning that we're doing. But also we have to sit on the edge of our beds at the end of the night and think, if I want to change my life, what do I know today that I could be doing that I'm not? And I think that's very much so this Mercury Saturn kind of energy, because while it asks that weighty question, it also gives us a lot of courage to make the decision to take on the responsibility to do what we need to do moving forward. Now later in the day, we get a little help, right? Whether this be tea for you, water, some kind of other beverage, a cherry, whatever. We get something sweet. We get Venus in a trine to Neptune, and I call these the Bopsy twins. I love them when they get together. Gosh, don't I love Venus and Neptune together, right? They're great because they bring the vision, they bring the fantasy, they bring the okay, it is all very serious, right? It's almost what I hold for you guys. It's like we've got a lot of responsibility coming down the pike this week, and then Venus and Neptune come into this trine, and it's like, yeah, that's a lot. That is so much. That is so much. How about we breathe for a minute and just do something that we like or that we enjoy? Remember play, remember creativity, remember fantasy, remember dance and movement and breathing. And you can actually take this on as a place to breathe, relax. We're dealing with some heavy things. But also, create. We have to have and we have to engage the space of creation. Now, Neptune is still retrograde until December 3rd. So it can be a little bit harder to just create and trust that it's all going to work out, because when Neptune is retrograde, things are concrete. Neptune's creating the vision and the dream and the ideal when it's direct, and then it goes retrograde and it's like, whoa, does this dream, does this vision, does this ideal, does it match? I was really invested in this vision. And now that it's retrograde, you're like, this vision is not going to help us, right? This fantasy that it's going to somehow work out between me and Bob, who it's never worked out. Somehow the money situation is just going to handle itself. Somehow I'm just going to get, right? Whatever the vision has been, while Neptune is retrograde, you see it for a little bit more what it is. But I think that Venus and Neptune together here offer you an opportunity to give yourself some grace, to just know that a new vision can be formed here. You have done the very best that you can do. Bring some balance, bring some diplomacy, bring some beauty for the fact that your ideals have gotten you where you are, and whether they're worn out or not, you know what I mean? They did serve you in a good way. So try to create, try to play, try to be kind to yourself as we're traveling through the rest of Thursday, okay? We've been doing a lot of work over here, friends. All right, when we get to Friday, we've got the sun in a square to Saturn. Now, I'm telling you, Saturn is like, get off of me, right? Even Saturn is like, so the sun's going to square Saturn now. Okay, now my motivation, this is it. We're in. The decisions have been made when Mercury squared Saturn. We saw some things at this eclipse. Now the sun is like, all right, I am in. I am ready to make things a priority. I am ready to take responsibility. But this is the thing I want you to keep in mind at this point. it's not a shallow accepting of responsibility. It's not just like new year, new me. By the way, I'm not changing anything. It's not that. It's deep. This is like root chakra deep, like way down here, like rising up in you, Kundalini rising, kind of ready for what's coming next, because you see, right, just like the season change, just like the fall here in the United States, that this will be my undoing. If I don't get to the core of this, whether it be what I'm so damn passionate about that I've got to take it in the world and do it and share it and start to move away from my fear towards that shore of some kind of faith, or it's, this is a belief, this is a secret that I'm keeping, and it will be my undoing. Whatever secret I'm keeping, whether it's, positive or challenging, my secret will keep me sick. And I recognize that here in a really deep way. So my life depends on it. My life force depends on it. And I'm willing to take on the responsibilities and make it a priority to live in a way that lets this area of my life breathe, right? Like, whoo, that's a lot. That is so much. Okay, let's get to Saturday. Saturday is quite nice. Mercury's in a trine to Neptune. Now, I do like this because, first of all, in a way that we're dealing with creativity. Anything creative, this is quite good here, because Mercury is, again, bringing new information, bringing communication, stimulating the system. So really you can be creating as it dances in an opportunity with Neptune. But more than anything, I still have to come back to Neptune is retrograde. So the ability to create in pure fantasy might be a little bit harder. So what can be offered here is an opportunity that comes out of nowhere, or seemingly out of nowhere. I also think that this particular trine is really great to finish. Find a creative way to finish some things in your life that need to be finished between the Mercury and Neptunian energies. But you know what I mean? Be easy with it. Be easy with it. You might not have all of the answers to how to change your life and where things need to go next, and you're maybe having to find really creative solutions, or you're being creative and creating you're tapping into something really creative here on this day. But whatever it is, I would really say use this trine and kind of go with it, and don't think that an opportunity is just about, oh, you've got a job offer, oh, you've got a windfall coming to you. Sometimes an opportunity that seems like it has absolutely nothing to do with what you've got going on is just to walk around the block when it's, it's like the last thing you were thinking you want to do. My spiritual teacher always tells me when I'm looking for and I'm gauging, or I am engaging the universe and asking for an opportunity or asking for guidance or direction, that sometimes it's very quiet when the universe whispers to me what to do next. And when it does, I need to put down what I think is so damn important and follow that. And I can't tell you guys how many times just in a given week that sometimes the universe is like, hey, why don't you take a stroll around the block? Just once around the block, honey. We're over here trying to work on your life. I know my spirit guides are like, go take that walk. Like, get out of our way. We're literally trying to help you. You know what I mean? Speaking of guidance, right? Whether it's spiritual, whether it's with another person or a mentor, this is also a great opportunity to check in and make sure you are asking. Request help from the universe. Request help from your guides. However you tap into a guidance system, even a higher self, this is a great energy for you to make sure you're doing that, because what can happen is we come out here and we think, I'm just being confident and a competent, moving around human being. But when's the last time you asked for help? Like, don't have your spirit guides sitting over there asking each other when's the last time they talked to you, right? So ask whatever you call a higher guidance system, a more tapped into the purity guidance system. This is a great day to take the opportunity to make sure you are asking and then allowing the help to come to you. I just have this hand going today, which is really very good for me, because I have to tell you, I watched back to a video that I made several years ago where all of a sudden in the video I had a spatula. Growth. Okay. So when we get to Sunday, we've got Venus in a sextile to Pluto. Now, when the planets come together like that, is an absolute opportunity for us to not only have an opportunity presented to us, but for us to take intelligent action with that particular sextile. So there can be a lot of intensity in relationships and around money and around esteem or things of value this week. So this is an absolutely fantastic energy for you to give these areas of your life a gorgeous makeover, or starting to participate in the makeover, deep change that becomes available here. And deep change can literally be that you pull the couch out from the wall and vacuum behind it and then let the vibe of the room get different. It can also be that you take that money out of that sad savings account and get it into, a high yield savings account where you can get 1 to 2% back instead of letting your money just be a couch potato, right? If you want to know more about that, ask me in the comment section down below, because seriously, I will tell you. I have a Capricorn South node. I will tell you how to do things with your money. Anyways, this is a great time to take action on investments or things that will bring value into your life long term, because Pluto is also concerned with the long term. Pluto is out of retrograde at this time, so Pluto's seen some things. Pluto has seen some things about our world, and that is the whole globe, and Pluto has also seen some things about your world. So now you can understand that the opportunity that you can intelligently take action on really is about evolution and some planning and bringing that level of investment together. What a week. But I want to stress again, we're coming here, we tap into the tribe together to try to live in a different way, live where we're more conscious. We can kind of see some energies coming and not prepare ourselves for the blow, not predict how our lives are going to go, but to understand what's happening in the vibration of consciousness, and also where we are at in our vibration of consciousness learning, right? Sometimes this aspect seems like, oh, that was the best trying ever, and it's really painful for you. And that is an indicator that it is lighting up a lesson space in your chart. And sometimes it feels like the best thing ever, and it's also lighting up a lesson space in your chart, right? So it just all depends. I just like to translate and interpret the energy of the cosmos so that you can understand it and use it and grow through your week to be as conscious and participate as possible, because not all of our fellow human beings are trying any version of being conscious. Some of them are hurting too much to do it. So the fact that you show up and we show up here every week, I really want to honor your time and honor your commitment to trying to live and to understand this language, okay? All right, my beautiful friends, I love you a whole pieces and bunches. I look forward to seeing you next week, where we will talk about the lunar landscape that is available as we get to November 14th. All right, guys, I love you. Bye.